Right guys, I did say in my training vlog I would be trying to do a mini vlog from the HOWL. We're here. It took a little while to get in because mainly collecting tickets, so it's not a crazy amount of time to get in. But parking up, we are on the grass, so I'm concerned if my car's going to get out. We started off with Topless Twister, which is the clown maze. If you guys had ever done curtains at Tulleys, same thing. So this year Tulleys have redone their clown maze to Electric Circus. Any year before this year, that's even got the same music as Tulleys used to use. So it's very similar. Walk into walls, they had a trommel tunnel, the air gun, like really good, but you know, you've done it before. We then did Squealers at the Yard. It's about cutting people up and stuff. Remind me of like Extreme Screen Park, but also reminded me a bit of Chop Shop. Similar themes, you can see where the resemblance is. But yeah, no, I can see why that's a 9 out of 10, and they got really close to chainsaws. And I do like that when you leave the maze, people jump out at you. That reminds me of like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, because they used to think, oh, that's the end of the maze, and then have more people jump out at you and stuff. So good fun so far. And like I said, I'll do mini bits here and there. I think we're going to grab some food now. Right, so we did Red, really good maze. It's only about 3 minutes long. We'll let you know, Red is short. However, there were some tactics I've seen before. They had lasers and mists, bags to push through. That was like Coven of 13 at Tulleys. And the other thing similar to Tulleys is that the big face that jumped out at you. Oh look, the fire's going off, that's really cool. A big like werewolf that came out, it's sort of like the snake in the cellar. And the other thing that I found really funny is when we went into one bit, there's a portrait that animated, sort of like you used to have the dual queue, you know those ones? We saw one earlier today, the haunting at Drayton, so we've seen that quite a few times. But yeah, no, Red is a really good maze. Just it's the length that lets it down. The actors were running around, they were jumping at you, really getting in your face, pushing around a bit. It's just a shame about the length. That's all I can say about that one. And then we did the Circus Horrors. As you can see, it's in a much smaller Big Top. Of course, Circus Horrors does their own run. They've got a massive tent at Tulleys. It's good to see it here. Shorter show, it was only about 10-15 minutes long, and some of the characters were only on stage for about like a minute or two. Still did the same thing at the end with the bed that grabs her and pulls her through, so it's still the same structure, just different with different acts. Right, on to the next one. So we just did the attic. Downstairs, the actors sort of attacked the group behind because we were at the front. And I went to the first room and said to Ben, it was quite funny, I went, oh, I hope we're actually going to go upstairs, and then we did go upstairs, which was quite cool. But we went downstairs again. The last section of the maze is definitely the strongest, so you've got, there's a girl with a doll who then jumped out and stuff, a guy running along the floor, that's where it got really strong. Decent length as well, compared to like Red, which I said was like 3 minutes long. You spent a good 5-6 minutes in there, and going upstairs and back downstairs definitely makes a difference to increase the length. And there's a bit of strobes, there's some effects. Yeah, I mean, it didn't have the best flow is what I'd say. So if you were saying like some were quite high intense and some were like a standard level, you had bits of this that were intense, then you had lots of gaps in between. So even though there were lots of actors, and then the ones that bother me are always the ones that are just sort of around the corner and they just stare at you, because then I look at them and then Ben behind me looks at them and the group behind me like, now we know you're there. So when you're going through a new maze and you don't know what's happening, it's quite good to have the jumps. Were some really good jumps in there, like some really strong jumps. Yeah, definitely, yeah, the length made up for it with that one, and it was still really good fun. So yeah, now on to the next one. So that's 4 out of 6 done, so you get 6 with this. It hasn't got, just in case you guys are wondering, it hasn't got the same ticketing system as Tulleys adapted this year. It's not as many goes as you want. This one still is on the 1 go per maze. However, the Circus Horrors isn't one of the mazes, it counts as one of the attractions of this one, so you can do that when you want during the night. So, as our 5th maze, we just did HOWL Valley High. Really, really impressive. In the pre-show, spoiler warning, when you're watching the video at the end of it, it actually jumps out straight away. Really energetic. Quite a small space, but lots of rooms moving around. They use the space really well. They're all themed up really well. The end was one of those ones where you can't see your hand in front of you because it's full of smoke. There was no jump at the end, so we reckon the actor was with another group. But no, HOWL Valley High was really good. One of the best mazes of the scare season for me. Just the theming, the videos, the atmosphere. You go through all the different like changing rooms. Oh, there's a bit where you go up behind the stage. There's a bit where they split you up as well. So they can send you 2 different routes. They can split up the group. They're really interactive and really get into there. I'd say HOWL Valley High's listed like I think it's a 9, but I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Like, that's really good. The only thing is it's got a really slow moving queue because of the long pre-show, and there's a photo in that queue as well. So just be aware that HOWL Valley High's queue is a lot longer than the other mazes. So if that's a full queue line, you may want to do it another time. So I think the only thing with that maze is they need to work on their efficiency, but it does mean because there's less groups going through at a time, you've got a really good experience in terms of the actual scares. Right, we've got one more maze to do, and we'll catch you after that one. So we just came out of the shed, and Ben was looking through his app that he's got about which mazes are original. The shed is, and so is the chainsaw one. Quite long length, lots of decent actors, all jumping out at you. It reminded me a bit of a cross between like Shop Shop and the Cellar, so it had lots of pallets, tyres, all that sort of thing, which is really well themed for what is a basic maze from the beginning. Really creepy and stuff. So I enjoyed that one, but unfortunately at the end we heard the chainsaw revving, so we could hear him going revving it, we smelt it, and then we just walked out. You could tell that last room was designed for a chainsaw chase, but for us we didn't get that chase. I don't know if they actually put it down or there was an issue with the chainsaw or what, but we heard it running and unfortunately we didn't get chased out. So yeah, that's all the maze is done. I hope you like mini vlog. I've sort of done a similar one from Drayton. It's just like mini ones rather than talking about them rather than showing all the atmosphere. Like, it's really good. You can see where they're trying to improve it. Like, they've got a brand new entrance with the flamethrowers and all that. They've got the Circus of Horrors now, of course, similar to Tulleys. Yeah, it's a fun evening, and of course it is cheaper than Tulleys. That's the other key thing you have to remember. The tickets here are cheaper, and like if you want a return ticket for the same season, it's only 20 quid if you've already been here once. So it's not like you're ripped off, but the queues getting can be big. So get here early, or get here a little bit later, like 7:30, and then you can get in straight away. And people do the mazes at the front first, so if you come straight to the back, there's no queue. So you can get it all done. You just have to take your time with it. Cool. I will see you in the next one, guys.